this guy up here, you might not be able to see him. He's a tall, skinny guy with a blue shirt, and he keeps fanning his wings, his arms out as if he were an airplane. And what got floated to my brain this morning, I don't know if I would think of this on my own, but there's been a lot of news about airplanes, and this plane, you know, gets diverted back to, you know, so many airplane issues where they go back to the airport, you know, where they took off from, and this, that, and the other. And what came up was 2001, of course, the World Trade Center towers, and how much gasoline wound up in those towers to cause all that destruction. Because you think, like, what does it take to bring down two major, you know what I mean? How much heat, how much gas, how much flame. Now, that building had a lot of metal materials mixed with whatever. A lot of buildings in Philly are this brick, stone masonry. You know, I think they pride themselves on being not as flammable per se. I'm not sure which materials are worse than others. I know fires can occur in these edifices, but it would be the internal materials. But there's, you know, I'm trying to think what we have in terms of metal. We have metal blinds, and anyway, and then it comes down to people's personal furniture, stuff like that. Some murals on the side of this building that make it look like they have windows. It looks almost, on camera, the building can almost look fake. Sometimes I see that, and it's the lighting and stuff like that, and it's like, is that a real building? So also, another little tidbit, Pearl Properties happens to be the management company of the building where I live. They own a lot of properties. They have residential and some commercial. And I think they owned the building where Lululemon used to be. And Lululemon is a yoga clothing store and similar. You buy a lot of leggings there. And they're really expensive. Now they're up the street. But they used to be right where I believe Brandy Melville is. And Brandy Melville had an episode yesterday with someone stealing clothes. And it turns out the security officer fired a warning shot or shots. It's a little confusing. The story got a little construed. We can't figure out who did what. But point being, I think it's the same exact property. It's on the same block where they had a fire at a Lululemon ages ago. I would find a story about someone who wound up suing Pearl Properties commercial side because of how it unfolded, and this, you know, scare. Like, she felt like there was a scare tactic going on, and could something act like they came just short of saying that it was set up and orchestrated. So I don't know, but the same property to have an incident, I'm wondering how easy it is to control people in certain properties. So Brandy Melville might be where Lululemon used to be back in 2011, 12, 13, 14. I'm not certain. And if so, you know, how many incidents happen on certain properties? And even someone could scare people on purpose. Men love to scare women. It's like a childish pastime. The thing is, like, say they slip and that thing actually fell and knocked this guy's eye out. You know what I mean? And some people are more sensitive than others. You know, sometimes women are, but even men, there's a lot of sensitive men, and there are people in certain worlds and they love to bang things around and toughen up. I don't tell them to get sensitive. Punch them in the face, tell them to get sensitive. Better read a book, sit down, have some tea. I'm gonna kick you until you know, make a smoothie, have some green juice, become a raw vegan foodie, do some yoga. So see how sensitive people don't do that? But bullies need sensitive people to toughen up. I want to know. So this argument isn't made enough, you know. You'd think the Archie Bunker era was over. Of course, Archie Bunker oddly was lovable, because in reality that guy was actually like a liberal actor who had to act like, you know, a borderline, you know, old racist white guy-ish, you know. It's hard to pull off if you're actually a sensitive person. But we have, again, the situation of bullies who need sensitive people to toughen up. We don't stick yoga on them. You don't pass. You don't get through college unless you do 8 years of yoga. Okay? And it has to be the best of the best. It has to be Ashtanga, 75 to 90 minute vinyasa or Ashtanga. You can't alter it, you can't change it. It has to be exactly that, the original. Alright, so here we go again. You know, we decided all the sensitive people are gonna sick on you. Vegetarianism and veganism. You cannot have beef for the rest of your life. And we need you to go out to all the farms where they kill cattle, or even milk them for milk. And we need you to work with those cattle and then send them off to slaughter. You want to see how you like that? See how you feel. And then you need to identify with the cattle, because someone could do that to you, you know what I mean? How would you like it if you were Angus beef? So that's, you know, again, you know, in general, vegetarians, they'll try to create one on TV, but in general, people in yoga and vegetarianism, innately, a natural born one would not be a bully. Would they? Not if they're practicing the true yogic lifestyle. So, for years and years and years, all the bullies have to push, you know, you need to toughen up. Like, I didn't sign up for the military. I'll tell you why in a minute. Georgia, Fort Stewart, because that's what they produce, right? That mentality does what? Perpetuates aggressiveness or flipping out. Or if you're in a world that feels too fake, and often people in realms like military, they have these titles and they're wondering what they're supposed to do, and it doesn't make sense that they have this title. That can seem impressive to people who don't know any different about titles, even still. And that might drive someone crazy. So, enough of that topic, but in the yoga